Xbox, you have no games, you have no exclusives, you have no developers who are willing to put in the work to give you quality exclusive titles. You don't have it. Just give up as a console. Give up. It's over.
To hell with it. I've already cracked open 3 IPAs, so I don't feel like giving some pointless intro about how shitty PlayStation fanboys can be. Because no matter how much they want to blame me for making them look bad, you and I both know
you have done that yourself.
the last thing I want anyone coming away with after watching some videos from my channel is that I'm a shill for Xbox and Microsoft. Because believe me, I was a perfectly happy, toxic PC elitist long before Microsoft and Sony both realized they could make some serious money off the PC. I was fine without them then, I'd be fine without them now. Plus, if you've watched me long enough, you know I have a fair share of response videos of cringe-ass Xbox fanboys. Here's the thing though. PlayStation fanboys have just been exponentially more toxic, to the point they've made it nearly impossible to find an Xbox fanboy worth even comparing to. So this jackass is Anthony Olan Tech. Yeah, I also have no idea why channels that don't know shit about tech have a habit of putting tech in their name.
Sony, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. You make From Software. Keep Bloodborne exclusive to the PS4.
Anyways, our boy decided to let off some steam about Microsoft doing this thing called, competing. PlayStation fanboys will pretend like they always wanted Microsoft to start buying big studios and putting out big exclusives, but the minute Microsoft does it, they start to cry like the little bitches that they actually are. This video is a parody and is for the purpose of sharing the emotions the gaming community may be feeling.
Here we go!
Nice funny. Dickens rap.
Oh, look at that, guys. It's just a parody. He was just joking. Well, too bad I don't give a shit and that won't stop me. So, take it away, Anthony. First sign of actual rage. You hear the drop of the keys and the hyperventilation. That or our boy just needs to start doing some reverse barbell lunges.
Okay, I had all day to make this video and I knew I was gonna make it, but I had some shit to do, so I couldn't make the video earlier, so I'm making it now. Sue me.
Fuck. And I thought I was an unproductive lowlife. Motherfucker had all day to work on the video and think this rant through. And this is what he comes up with? Fuck it. I'm opening up another IPA.
I don't know why exactly I'm upset about this. I really don't care at all about the fact that Microsoft has purchased Bethesda. I really don't care.
Dear God, not another one of these. Not another, I don't care about this topic, but let me just rant passionately about said topic. It takes a total lack of self-awareness to do this. That's why you should let Daddy Fritz stuff 4 grams of shrooms down your throat. You'll thank me later.
But it needs to be said anyway. You know that people are out there who have these kind of negative opinions on it. So it just needs to be said.
No, it really doesn't. PlayStation fanboys, soy boy gaming journalists, and the media have all been super critical of Xbox having no games. So Microsoft decided to do what they all bitched about. So now that you are getting what you wanted, you know, an artificial reason to own an Xbox, you have it now. Microsoft is doing what Sony has been doing, but that's suddenly bad, I guess. Console peasants are incredibly difficult to please. They don't actually want pro-consumer moves. They actually are more in favor of anti-consumer moves that benefit corporations. Because for them, watching 2 corporations compete against each other is their entertainment and not the video games.
How do you justify purchasing a developer to be exclusive to your console?
Oh yeah, you know, just don't mind me. Just sitting here in my car, a grown-ass man, ranting at my phone about plastic boxes. Little did that person walking by know they were about to be the highlight of his video.
How do you justify purchasing a developer to be exclusive to your console and you're paying them $7 billion, right? Not million, $7 billion to have Bethesda games only on your console.
Well, you literally just answered your own question. They paid $7 billion. That's how they justify it. You don't make a $7 billion purchase without the intent of using it to grow and expand your own market. How is a PlayStation fanboy, the most vocal group about exclusivity, this clueless? These guys would give out lectures on why exclusives matter. I, for one, don't like the idea of people now having to get an Xbox to play games that used to be multi-plat for years, but that's the type of competition they glorify. So I don't know why he's upset. If you have no problem kissing Sony's ass, worshiping them, and praising them 24/7 for all those exclusive studios they've managed to rack up, then you shouldn't have a problem with Microsoft doing the same. As a matter of fact, I expected more worship, but instead what I'm getting is more salty tears.
This tells me that Xbox and Microsoft are desperate because they can't do shit right with their console. Their company is failing compared to Sony. They can't get anything done right. Okay?
Microsoft is failing. The same Microsoft worth $1 trillion versus Sony's $95 billion is failing. These guys just dumped $7 billion on Bethesda. They've gotten a Sony game like MLB Day 1 on Game Pass, and they can't do shit? I don't even want to sit here and defend Microsoft. I hate them. But come on. There's a difference between criticism and blind hate.
The original rumor was that Microsoft was trying to secure WB games, which possibly could have meant that if that went through, Mortal Kombat would have been exclusive to Xbox, the Middle-earth games would have been exclusive to Xbox. But the fact that they got Bethesda is hilarious to me, because who the fuck is buying an Xbox to play Bethesda games? Honestly, unless you love first-person RPG games, no one is buying your console. Nobody, okay?
Obviously, the environment down here is all salt. The ceiling's salt, the floor is salt, the walls are salt, and to an extent, the air is salt. And you breathe that in, and you can constantly taste the salt.
Wait, Chancho, wait. Yeah, I'm not gonna call you by your name. You're Chancho now. You seriously think that nobody would buy an Xbox for Bethesda games like The Elder Scrolls or Fallout? Games with easily more sales combined than any Warner Brothers entity. It's not like Microsoft bought some tiny dev. They bought out one of the largest, most recognizable and beloved publishers. Hopefully this doesn't turn out to be like another situation with Rare, but all I can tell you is that if Bethesda doesn't move any console units, then nothing else can.
You don't have any reason to buy an Xbox right now or ever at that point. You have no exclusives.
Well, I don't know about reasons for owning an Xbox. I'm a goddamn PC elitist. Not even exclusives can move me. But you're sitting there screaming at the top of your lungs that this purchase doesn't make any sense because Xbox has no exclusive content. And here's Microsoft buying out Bethesda to deliver those exclusives. Your number one problem with the console is a lack of exclusive content, yet you get mad when they solve that problem?
So why bother paying Bethesda, a company which doesn't have a huge success rate? It has a good success rate, but not a huge one. You're gonna pay them $7 billion and they may not be able to deliver on what they can promise.
Bethesda. The very same Bethesda with some of the highest selling and highest rated games of all time. Something tells me our boy Chancho here may not fully understand how big of a deal this acquisition is. All I can tell you is that it's made nearly every single purchase in Sony's history book look insignificant. It's the type of purchase to remind Sony just how small they are compared to Microsoft. A bit of a reality check.
Look at Fallout 70 shit. Remember that game? Failed, okay?
Oh my god, believe me, I don't want to hear about Fallout 76 ever again, especially after binge watching Gundam's videos on it. Poor game should be taken out back and have a bullet put through its head already. But all you did was list one game, and one game only, because you have no ammo here. Bethesda doesn't exactly have a track record like, say, Ubisoft. They have a thick library of high quality games that sell, and are some of the most popular franchises in all of gaming. Imagine trying to downplay one of the most successful publishers with a totally convincing rant in your car. Dear God, the ponies have gotten desperate. It's hard to watch. I don't know how I've been able to put up with it for so long. I need to move on to different topics. But as long as Sony ponies exist, it's free real estate.
You remember Todd Howard? How is he still around? How is Todd Howard still in charge of Bethesda? It makes no sense. How is Todd Howard still in charge of Bethesda?
Look, I'm all for trashing Todd Howard. The man was able to make morons cheer for an Elder Scrolls 6 text font, but he ain't the head of Bethesda. That's like saying Phil Spencer is the head of Microsoft.
It makes no sense.
Then again, I don't expect PlayStation fanboys to know any better, because these are the same guys that take all of their complaints to people who aren't in charge of anything on a constant basis.
And you look at Sony, when they acquired Insomniac Games, they paid Insomniac Games, I believe it was like $300 million, okay? Which is a lot of money. But it's nothing compared to $7 billion. And they were smart to get Insomniac because they got the Ratchet & Clank games. They got Spider-Man. They got Spider-Man, okay? Who's gonna buy an Xbox to play another Elder Scrolls game, to play another Doom game, to play another bullshit Fallout game? Nobody. They're gonna want PlayStation, God of War, Ratchet & Clank, Spider-Man, all the other Sony exclusives that they've been having for years. And you guys still have nothing. You guys have nothing.
Easy there, Chancho. You're starting to wake up the neighbors with all that yelling. That or some hot chick walked by while he was screaming. For the love of God, you would have been better off ranting in your boiler room like Harmon Smith. But he might have woken up his mom and gotten the chancla to his face. God knows I'd smack some sense into him with a chancla if I could. This jackass seems to think Bethesda isn't as recognized or known as Insomniac. Boy, have you lost your goddamn mind? Has Microsoft broken you that much? I just can't help but feel if this situation was turned around and Bethesda was bought out by Sony, this entire rant video would not even exist. Well, hurry the fuck up, humanity. Build me a goddamn device that would allow me to see that alternate reality. Please.
You guys are paying this company all this money.
Yeah, it got real quiet there when his mom waved the chancla at him from the porch.
So you can try to get exclusives. And there was a rumor that said, because Microsoft purchased Bethesda, not every Bethesda game that releases will be exclusive to Microsoft. They said some games will come to other consoles. That is complete bullshit. What company is going to say, hey, you know, we paid you $7 billion to have you work for us, but you can still make a couple of games for PlayStation and Switch. It's okay. No, that's not going to happen. It's not. If it does happen, then Microsoft is fucking stupid, okay? Because if you're paying a company like Bethesda $7 billion, you clearly are telling them every game you make is for us only. No one else. Everyone else can eat a fucking dick, okay?
Explain to me, Chancho. How's that any different than what Sony is doing? How is it okay and reasonable for Sony to buy out entire studios to prevent games from going to other platforms? But when Microsoft does it, it's all of a sudden bad. You can't have it one way where only Sony is allowed to compete this way. If you ask me, I hate all of it. For me, it'd be ideal if all games were on all platforms, but since consumers decided to prop up these mega wealthy corporations to have this much power in the industry, then it is what it is. If this is truly how you feel about this practice, then you should have spoken up years ago. But instead you sat there and jerked off Sony for doing it, so don't be bitching to anyone.
And everyone is trying to defend Microsoft and how they have all these games they can play. I remember a couple years ago, Microsoft announced all these developers they had who was working on the new Xbox games. All these developers that they were working with. And yet they have nothing. What's up? Another Halo? No one cares about Halo anymore. Gears of War? Nobody plays Gears of War. Forza? I love Forza. I'll give them that. Forza's great. But people are getting tired of Forza anyway. What games are there to play on Xbox?
I mean, it is true that Microsoft has a habit of killing everything they touch. Won't deny that, but it's batshit crazy to say nobody cares for Halo or Gears. Those games continue to rake in numbers, and there's no way in hell they won't continue to sell. Halo's been selling since the first fucking Xbox. You seriously think it's about to stop now?
Oh, but we still have Cuphead. It's also on Switch, motherfucker. Oh, well, Minecraft is good on Xbox. Minecraft is so accessible on every console out there. I can get Minecraft on my dick, okay?
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure all the sexual encounters you've ever had happened only on Minecraft, so no surprise there, really.
You can't justify buying an Xbox except for Game Pass, which is a great deal, but the other thing about that is...
Let's stop there real quick. What other justification does anyone need other than wanting it for their own personal enjoyment? The majority of consumers are so casual, they probably have no clue that Bethesda games will be future Xbox exclusives. Nobody has to justify their purchase. And they especially don't need to justify it to some chubby virgin screaming in his car about it.
while there is a lot of games on Game Pass, who is really buying a console just for Game Pass and just to play games that, while it is free on the Xbox with Game Pass, it is also accessible on the other consoles?
No. Xbox Game Pass isn't sorta free or close to free. It ain't free at all. And I hate seeing people like Colt Eastwood who do this bullshit, where they'll say things like, free with Xbox Game Pass. If you have to pay a price to access anything, even if it's $1, then it ain't free. Just because Netflix will add some ultra woke cringy ass new shows to their app, does that make the shows free, even though you're already paying a monthly fee? Whatever, I'm getting too hung up on this point.
And then another argument I heard is the new Xbox is much more powerful than the PS5. Is it really though? Is it really though? It's not that much powerful. You're not going to see that much of a difference when you're playing a game in 4K on PS5 compared to the new Xbox. So,
for the love of God, I'm not going to lecture yet another console peasant on hardware. As a matter of fact, arguing over which has the best visuals is the most meaningless thing to argue about, especially considering the fact that the PC trashes both. Hurry up and finish this stupid ass video. What's your closing statement, Chancho? I want to go home.
Why bother paying Bethesda all this money when it may not even succeed? The new Elder Scrolls may not even be that good. It's going to be an overhyped piece of shit. Okay? And I don't think anyone is excited to play another Fallout after you fucked up Fallout 76. I don't think anyone wants a third Dishonored. I think people are pretty much doomed out already. They don't want another Doom. It's over. Okay? Xbox, you have no games. You have no exclusives. You have no developers who are willing to put in the work to give you quality exclusive titles. You don't have it. Just give up as a console. Give up. It's over. It's over.
God damn, console fanboys are like all of my ex-girlfriends. I don't have a single nice thing to say about them. And to think, I could have just been doing drugs instead of sitting here watching a grown-ass man screaming about consoles in his car. There ain't no way around it. Microsoft officially has a lineup of studios and games that now far exceeds Sony's own, and no amount of simping is going to change that fact. You can try your hardest to convince the 5 people who watch you that nobody cares about Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and Doom, yet those will be the most talked about and most hyped games when they do eventually come out. The goddamn desperation of Sony ponies. They've officially become the new Xbots. Do you remember a few years ago when Xbox fanboys were trying to downplay every single studio Sony was purchasing, every single big AAA exclusive Sony was putting out? Do you remember how cringe it was seeing Xbox fanboys pretend like they didn't care, or seeing them try to downplay those games and prop up every little tiny thing Microsoft was doing while ignoring all the bullshit? Yeah, that's the situation Sony ponies are in now. They're not used to seeing Microsoft making big moves. Well, guess what? They're making all those big moves that you were critical of them not making. So if you're gonna sit in your car and cry about it for 5 minutes, then be my guest. Lord knows I will have plenty of content to work with. And as always, like, share, comment, subscribe if you so choose to. I don't give a fuck. And this has been Rich of Review Tech USA, signing out. Have a good one.
Fritanga sucks ass.